So then, hi everyone, I'm Alex Bones from Match Fishing Magazine, and today we've come to the lovely Makins Fishery in Wolvie, Leicestershire. I'm sure it's a venue many of you have fished before. You know, it's a superb place to come, and today we're on phase 2 on the reptile pool. Now, Makins has undergone an awful lot of changes in recent times. You know, it's become a lot more accessible and easier to fish, and the fishing is absolutely brilliant. Today, the purpose of the visit is to give the Shimano Aero Pro Competition 16m pole a thorough going over. Now, this is actually the second time that I've fished with this pole. It was so good the first time that I wanted to bring it out for a second occasion. So I picked it up from the Shimano HQ to come out and give it a good test here at Makins today. We've only just started fishing and already the action is pretty thick and fast. So let's get this one in the net, and then we'll take a look at a little bit more detail on this absolutely brilliant pole. So exactly what have we got here then? Well, this is Shimano's Aero Pro Competition pole, and it's their flagship model. This pole is something like 10 years in the making. You know, it's eagerly anticipated, long awaited, and now it's here. As I mentioned in the intro, this is actually the second time that I've been able to fish with this pole. It was so good the first time, you know, that I wanted to get it back out on the bank and have another go, have a more thorough test of it, you know, to really get a feel for what this pole's all about. Honestly, it is a phenomenal piece of kit, it really is. I mean, in this day and age, there really isn't such a thing as bad kit, but this, you know, poles like this, or this pole in particular, do take things to the next level. You know, it is a brilliant bit of kit, and everything you'd expect from a flagship brand producing a flagship pole like this. It's also been purpose made for this style of fishing, so to cope with the rigours of commercial fishing, when you're fishing down the edge, long to islands, when, you know, you're slapping the rig and the pole's taking, you know, a lot of force and a lot of pressure. If you're a match angler, you're fishing for sort of 5 hours, and, you know, you want the best bit of kit out there, then this is certainly, you know, a serious contender. And it's not only the pole that's good as well. The pole is loaded with features. There's all kinds of things on the pole that just make it that bit better to use. The finish, and when you're shipping, is silky smooth as well. It really glides through the hands well. When they're damp, you know what it can be like. It can be quite tricky to fish with a pole in the wet, but the finish that Shimano's put on this pole, you know, really does make all the difference. It also comes with a really extensive spares package as well, and there's lots of options on the top kit. So we'll quickly run over a few of the bits that it comes with, and then we'll cover the full package in detail. So within the pole itself, you obviously get a match top kit, which is one of these. So it's their Aero Pro Match. This is rated sort of up to size 12 elastics, grade 12 elastics. All of these tops already come ready bushed as well, so what you're not doing is chopping or losing any length off your pole. They come with PTFE bushes ready fitted, so all you got to do is thread the elastic through and get yourself underway. The kits also come with a reinforced band here where you can fit a side puller. On this occasion today, we haven't actually drilled the pole, we've just used a more traditional puller bung style, but this is purpose made, this reinforced section here, to fit a side puller in, whether it's a standard one or a roller one or whatever your preference is. You know, drill it and fit it and get yourself fishing. So they're the match kits. Power kits, same deal, you know, they've got the side puller reinforced area as well, but these are a stronger kit. These are rated up to an 18 elastic. So maybe they're for your heavier, you know, your heavier kit, maybe your red hydros, or your stronger elastics for fishing for big fish short, big fish down the edge, you know, when you're really kind of putting big weights together. These might just be a better option to use than the match kits. Both come with the package anyway, just to make that clear, but you know, you got both options there. And my personal favourites, short kits. Now these are the Aero Pro F1 one-piece short top kits. These actually come in black with the Pro package anyway, but you can also get these in, you know, grey colour, the trend being to colour your tops grey to match with the sky, less of a silhouette. So they're available in that colour as well. Again, they've got the reinforced side puller area here, so you can fit your desired puller. And for me, I absolutely love short kits. I use them for all my sorts of fishing, whether I'm fishing shallow, short, down the edge. I just love the stiffness that a short kit, or the added stiffness and rigidity that a short kit brings to the pole. While I'm at this point as well, just pick up on a few of the key points. The pole's an absolute thing of beauty. The level of detail that's gone into it is, brilliant. It's everything you'd expect from Shimano, a flagship brand. They've got additional wrappings on the end here to help strengthen the female portion, but there's almost like a double wrap. So where my fingers are there's a wrap, and then there's another piece again right around the end. So these sorts of pieces of the section that might get knocked or banged, little details like that. I know that's not exclusive to this pole. Loads of poles have got these sorts of features, but those differences will help the longevity of the pole. Just help you fish with it long, keep you fishing with it for longer. It's going to last you longer. It's also going to take the knocks and bangs, and it's just small details like that. The fact that the tips come ready bushed, ready to use. Again, not exclusive to this pole, but this pole does come that way, ready to fish. Also, that's the top kits covered. You can get these Aero short number 3 sections as well. Now obviously these replace, well, short 3, it's actually like what a traditional number 4 section would be, but this replaces the number 3 section on this pole. Obviously you're putting a shorter section in place, and the net result of that is a stiffer pole. So if you imagine you combine something like this also with the F1 short kit, it transforms what is already an incredibly stiff pole into something that's absolutely next level. Of course, you're going to lose the length. You're using a shorter number 3 and you're using a shorter kit, but the rigidity and the responsiveness that comes from that, is absolutely brilliant. And again, these are something that I love to use in my own personal fishing. There's a couple of extensions available. You've got this, which fits the 13-meter joint. So the Aero 13-meter extension, as the name suggests, fits straight in the 13-meter joint. And you've just got that little bit of extra reach. It's solid as well, so if you can keep it underneath your elbow when you're fishing. It's just going to take all that force of striking hard when you're fishing those sort of distances. So you get this one in the package, and you get another one that fits both the 14.5 and the 16-meter section as well. Lastly, just before we get back to a little bit of fishing, you get these little dolly sections as well. Now these fit all the way from, as indicated on here, the number 5. There's a few of these in the package, but again, these will work similar to what I've just mentioned there with the other extensions. They're just a piece to have underneath your elbow when you're fishing. It's going to take all that force of the strike. If you've got bony elbow and it's going into the pole, or if you're leaning right out and your elbow's right over the end of the section, these are just going to help to protect that area. So that covers a few of the details, on this pole. There's loads of other bits and pieces. The top kits have got depth markers on them as well. There's loads of other small, really intricate details that take this pole to the next level. But that covers pretty much most of it. So let's get back to a bit of fishing. Let's talk a little bit then about what we're doing today. As I mentioned, I'm on Reptile Lake. Now it's typical of a lot of fisheries where you've got an island to fish to, and I thought today that this would be the perfect test for fishing this pole at its longer lengths. That's one of the reasons that you might... Here we go, look at that, bite straight away. Another carp by the looks of things. The fishing has been absolutely brilliant, it really has. We're just pinging some 6mm pellets across there. But yeah, going back to what I was saying, why would you spend this much money, on any flagship pole? What's the benefit? And that is that when you're fishing at these longer lengths, this is 14.5 up to there, and I've obviously got the extension section in as well, the short extension, so just over 14.5 meters. But that's really where you're going to see the benefit of your money, or what you're getting for your money when you're fishing. Maybe even 13, but certainly 14.5 and 16 meters is almost what you're paying for. Obviously Shimano offer a couple of less expensive poles in the Aero range, so they've got the X5 and the X7, But if you really want the creme de la creme and the best possible performance that Shimano can offer at this length, then it's got to be this, the Aero Pro. You know, so tactics wise today, we'll just play this fish while we talk about what we're doing. Wallowing all over the surface, this one. So I'm just fishing a hard 6mm pellet in a band. Really, really straightforward, really simple. Sort of approach that's just going to work anywhere. They've actually got fishery pellets here now at Making, so you've got to use fishery pellets, which is fine, that's what we've got. You know, some 6mm fishery pellets. We've just been pinging them over to the island, and I could actually see the tails up. It's only probably 18 inches deep there. And to fish in that sort of depth of water, I've just got a little 4x10, float, small bulk. I've got a size 16 barbler side hook with a band to take my 6mm pellet, 017 main line, and an 015 hook length. So really nice and simple. You know, elastic is hollow grade 6-10, and it's actually working absolutely perfectly for this, because if you fish an elastic that's you know, too strong in shallow water, the fish can often come up and splash and cause all sorts of commotion, whereas with this elastic it's quite soft, so when you hook the fish they actually head out of the swim instead of going wild, you know, right in the swim where you want to keep those other feeding fish. That's that little hook out there. Another nice mirror, pretty typical of the sort of stamp of fish that are in these lakes here. Lovely job. Perfect, you know, sort of fish to catch doing this. And these are the sorts of fish and sorts of venues that this pole has specifically been designed to deal with. You know that if it can cope with this sort of fishing, you know, then it's going to cope with pretty much anything you can throw at it. Let's take a closer look then at the actual pole package itself and what you get. So of course you get in the 16m Aero Pro Competition pole, full 16 meters as well. As I mentioned when we're going through the top kits, you don't have to chop any length off or lose anything. And I know as well that these poles have been built as true length poles. So maybe if there's some anglers using these in Europe or even in the UK, but for FIPSED regulations, the poles are all exact to true length. Just a nice little fact there, in case you were wondering. So the package, you get 5 match top kits, 4 power top kits, and 4 of the one-piece short F1 kits. You also get 2 of the short number 3 joints. You get a 13-meter extension, a 14.5 and 16, which is joint. It's the same section and fits both the 14.5 and 16. You get that extension. And you get the short dollies as well. You get one that fits the 5 and 6, the 7 and 8, and the 9 and 10 joints. Shimano have also wrapped this all up in a really nice looking holdall as well. Nice chunky holdall. All your sections, your pole is all coming in the tubes, so everything's protected, and it's just a really, really nicely put together, well thought out package. Let's get this one in the net, hopefully. Another little mirror. I've had a few of these, beautiful little fish. On the 6mm, little 6mm pellet again. I say that I've only brought one bait with me, and it's those, you know, the 6mm fishery pellets. So really nice and simple. There you go. No challenge for the pole really, but you know, cracking fishing here at Makins all the same. We've just gone straight back out then, and another bite. Swim's pretty solid now. You know, we've kept firing those pellets in, and it's just literally a carp a drop now. What I will say though about this pole, it's absolutely brilliant. It's very, very stiff. You know, it's an absolute pleasure to use. It really is. I know I've touched on the finish a couple of times already, but it's actually this really smooth ship finish. Yeah, it's exactly that. You know, it's really nice to ship in and out. And especially when you are fishing longer, that sort of thing does make a difference. again, I know, you know, the finishes, and there's other pole manufacturers have got other finishes that are easy to ship, but all I'm saying is this pole has it, and it's absolutely brilliant to use. You know, a lot of people argue that there's not a lot of innovation and things like that, but you know, when you get a product like this that just has lots of small percentages all grouped together, the end result is something that's really fantastic. You know, and that's exactly what this Aero Pro pole is. Back in the day, you know, I used to fish with the Shimano Aspire, so I come from having owned a flagship Shimano pole previously. You know, obviously this now is 10 years plus newer technology, and you know, no doubt side by side it'd blow the Aspire out the water, but at the time, you know, the Aspire was very much at the forefront, and you know, at the time, Shimano's flagship pole. But yeah, I've always had a good history with Shimano kit and Shimano poles. You know, so having owned the Aspire for my own fishing, I know that they've always had really good DNA, and this pole just, you know, builds on that, continues on that. You know, I would say that I'm not really quite sure what else you could expect or want from a flagship pole, but you know, this one really does do it all. So that's another one from the Island line. That's like a lovely little fish, lovely little carp. So what I'm going to do now, I've been priming a line just down the edge to my left there, so I'm going to go and have a little go on the margin swim, you know, before we wrap the session up. So there's a bite down the edge. I've just been priming it with the 6mm. Dropped in, had a couple of bites, a couple of roach, and then, you know, got into the carp. No, when you kind of at a fishery and you've got loads of room like this, you know, no one else is around you, of course it's going to be possible to catch down the edge. It's also getting on a bit later in the day now as well, so you know, prime time when them fish are likely to be coming down there in numbers. So I've left that long swim alone now, but I've kept feeding a few pellets there just in case I do need to go back to it. But just concentrated on trying to get a bite, catch a carp or two down the edge. So what about this pole then, in conclusion? Well, it's absolutely fantastic. I mean, I don't know what else you could need or want from a flagship pole. I would go as far to say, and it's a bold statement to say, but this is the best pole that I have personally ever fished with. Now, I've got to add some context to that, because it wouldn't be fair on some of the other poles out there that, you know, that are also absolutely superb. I haven't fished with every single flagship pole that's currently available on the market. This is one of the few that I have actually fished with, you know, flagship poles that are out there to buy at the moment. So just bear that in mind also. You know, it's very difficult unless they're all lined up side by side and you're looking for something specific. As I mentioned already, there's no bag kit these days, you know, but this pole definitely is the best pole that I personally have ever fished with. You know, hopefully I'll get the chance to test it again at some point. Maybe hopefully I'll get the chance to test some other manufacturers' poles as well, just to see how, you know, this pole does compare to some of the other flagship models out there. You know, that certainly would be really interesting. But yeah, I mean, that's all I can say as a conclusion. The package is brilliant, the pole's absolutely brilliant. I know I've talked a few times about the finish of the pole for shipping. That's really, really nice in the hand to ship. You know, they've thought about everything: power kits, match kits, short number 3. You also get a cupping kit as well within the package. You know, everything combined, all these small percentages combined, lead up to an overall picture of a pole and a product that's, you know, absolutely brilliant to fish with. I can't see how anyone wanting a flagship pole would be disappointed with it. It's absolutely brilliant. We're going to call that a wrap on this session. Been an absolutely brilliant day testing the pole, and a big thanks to Makins for the superb fishing. You know, it's been absolutely brilliant, and we've caught some really stunning carp like this. Don't forget to get yourself down here for a cracking bit of fishing. It's located in Wolvey, Leicestershire. So I'm just going to return this fish. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. Hope there's been plenty of information there for you on the Shimano Aero Pro Competition pole. It truly is a fantastic pole and a really good package. I strongly recommend that you check one out in the local Shimano stockist. Have a waggle for yourself and see what you think. So like I say, hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and it'd be great if you could hit that notification bell for the Match Fishing channel. Every time there's a new video uploaded, you'll get a notification. Thanks a lot for watching, and catch you in the next one.